Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be reacting to a video called Amsterdam as I saw it in 1955. Well, this looks very exciting. I want to know what has changed and what hasn't changed. So let's check it out and comment, like and subscribe. Oh my god. First of all, the Heineken beer, of course, the best beer ever. Oh my god, that one looks so similar to, I think, to the Amsterdam of right now. Okay, this is crazy because this could have been taken yesterday. This one does a little bit less so. The cars give it away. Of course, the bicycles. There's so many people bicycling around and cycling around. I just want to point out there's very few cars here. So, you know, things have not really changed. Is this some sort of botanical garden? Oh, they're playing mini golf. Oh. Is mini golf big in Amsterdam or in Amsterdam in general? Well, in the Netherlands in general? Okay, this man, what's happening here? Confused. Super confused. For 1 second, I don't think this is what's happening, but I think those are the sort of the not the pickpocketers, but the people that try to scam you in touristy towns in which, you know, they're playing a game or something and they're trying to give you something, and I don't know, they're scamming tourists, but I don't think that's what it was. But it's similar. The market, oh my god. I love it because look at it's the same. People, I think, are a little bit less chatty, right? I don't know. Are those the prices? I don't know about the prices. They probably have changed. What's this person? Okay, hold on. I'm gonna go back because I have no idea what this man was doing. He has some sort of wheel. He's sort of doing this on a wheel, which okay, no clue what that man was doing. They're selling furniture. What's happening there? Okay, I think I'm gonna have to go back. What's happening there? What? Oh, okay. They're not selling furniture. I think it's just a butcher, probably, of some sort. Is this a church? Probably it's a church, right? Again, something like this, I think, could have been taken, you know, anywhere between the 1955 and 2022. You know, again, it's the same. Oh my god, the boats are even the same. Oh my god, it never had occurred to me that the boats in which, you know, you do the tours are the same. Oh my god, well, probably they're not the same sort of boat. They've changed, but it's the same model. It's the same. Oh my god. Oh my god. And there's the bunch of boats to the side. Oh my god. Oh my, this looks like a pretty big, it's not even a boat, I think it's a ship. Wow, they're so big. Why are they so big? What was happening? They're building something? There's just a lot of ships there. No clue what's happening at that time period, you know, historically, for them to be that many ships there. I swear to god, this is the same boat. They're the same boats. You can't convince me otherwise. It's the same one. I know, probably, again, it's a new model, but it's the same design. Wow, okay, this is crazy. I think it's, you know, this video, obviously, you know, it says is 1955, and I could tell because of the clothes, basically, because otherwise, I think, again, maybe better lighting, or maybe, yeah, you could just put a weird filter, and, you know, this could easily pass as, oh yeah, I took this yesterday. And people will believe you. Yeah, sure. Yeah, you took this yesterday. Yeah, you were in Amsterdam. I think my wildest. I don't know. I don't know why I'm so shocked. It's the boat situation. I mean, maybe it's the idea of it. Maybe to me, but the idea of doing this sort of this boat ride, and it's a touristy thing, and probably again people you can obviously you can be Dutch and you can be actually you can be from Amsterdam and still they take the boat because the day is pretty and you again want to do something different, and yeah, you want to go outside and you can take the boat. But I don't know why I thought that this was sort of a recent sort of thing. Maybe it's because I see it as, I don't know, a modern kind of thing. I don't know. I'm just imagining. I don't know the modern person, modern as in probably beyond. Let's say 80s, probably. Yeah, let's say 1980s. That's probably the cutoff of if people are going on vacation and they're looking for things to do and they want to have fun and they're seeing, oh yeah, there's a boat tour, and then you go. But I didn't really know. I don't know why it's so strange to me, the concept of people in 1955 going on a boat tour and being, oh my God, yes, we're going to Amsterdam and we're doing the boat tour. It's sort of, oh my God, in the 1950s? No, previous to this, I would have told you absolutely not. I don't think that was, they didn't really have boats back in those days. You could rent and be, yeah, sure, I'm taking a ride. Probably not. Again, I think probably I have a bad impression. Well, not a bad impression. I just think that I have a different, I think, impression of what it actually was in reality about people in the 1950s. I think they were more, I don't know, sort of straight-laced and more, which probably they were, right? But I don't know. They still had the capacity, obviously, to enjoy, a little boat ride in the river, in the canal. Not the river. I know it's a canal. So maybe, again, it's just me, and I don't know why. It just looks like a very modern concept. And also, oh, well, yeah, there's the boat ride. But then the boats are the same. They haven't changed in size. Yeah, well, it's okay. Dumb of me, of course. They can change in size because obviously the bridges have not changed, right? I think they've done repairs and stuff, but it's not as if they're, oh yeah, we're going to redesign this to make it bigger. That's probably a very non-European thing. Yeah. Oh, we have to destroy this and make it bigger. No, absolutely not. Why would you make it bigger? It's fine the way it is. And of course the boats have to be, they have to be a little bit short. They can't be super big. Because obviously, again, the idea they have to be able to pass through the bridges, and also, again, what's the idea of having this huge boat? As in, oh my God, why do I want to be? I'm not going to look around and see things that are a little bit different. But it's funny that yes, they have the glass panels, the glass windows, and it's sort of open. And again, in this, they're the same as they have in right now. Probably the only difference is that I think right now they have others that don't have a roof and they're completely, they're completely uncovered. Maybe around this time period also they existed, only that this person didn't actually get to capture them. That it didn't mean they didn't exist. But oh my God, I'm so shocked by, oh my God, it's the same boat. Probably, again, not the same boat because I think, well, I don't know, boats have probably a long longevity. They probably have a long life, right? I think. And it's just, it just goes through that. No, because they have to change the engine, right? And just imagining maybe one of the boats that you get to see right now in Amsterdam, they're probably the original boats that, oh yeah, we had a company and someone, because I'm going to assume someone came up with the idea of, I'm going to get a boat and I'm going to start offering tours. And maybe that original company still exists, and maybe there's two original boats, or maybe that's another thing that maybe there's a museum for, those were the original boats that people used, back in, again, this probably wasn't recent, so maybe in the, I don't know, 1940s in which they started, who knows. And yeah, the models these days are sort of their new model, technically not the model. I don't really know how to explain this because I don't know how this works. Maybe again, it's the same model, but it's the opposite. New model, same design. It's the same thing, right? It probably goes, no, because you don't want it to go faster. You don't want to have a better engine, because why would I want a better engine? The idea is for the tour to last me a long time because I want to check around, I want to see. It's not as if you're going, it's not a cab. You don't want to go, hey, go faster. So it needs a better engine. So again, the thing with the boats, I'm super shocked by this. The other thing that was maybe, because again, you have the bicycles and this, everyone's cycling around. A lot of people, I'm surprised by the amount of people. I thought that, because I know that, Amsterdam, it's, well, in the Netherlands in general, I think it's a smaller country. But I thought, oh yeah, and probably in the 1950s it was even smaller because obviously, countries and cities have grown throughout the years. That's just a normal thing. But oh my god, there was a lot of people here. Everyone's super crowded. It's, oh my god, how come there's so many people around in the street? Maybe again, by the time the 1950s came, it was a lot of, everything was industrialized, and people probably worked in factories and in stores, and it wasn't that rural. And maybe I think, again, I don't really know how it works and how it worked in the Netherlands and specifically in Amsterdam, but I would assume that once, I think, maybe around after post-war, maybe, yeah, let's say 1945, people probably started migrating a lot to the city, and they were abandoning sort of the old ways of farming, of life, because everyone probably owned a farm. That's what you did with your life. But again, after a certain time period, again, I don't know how it worked for Amsterdam and in the Netherlands, but most countries during some time during the last century, and again, maybe around not the turn of the century, but around maybe, let's say, the mid-century, they evolved and everything was very industrialized, and factories started to appear, and the people needed workers and officers and all of that. So people started migrating and started sort of abandoning the farms. Probably not completely, obviously, but I think that there was probably a lot of internal migration between the country itself. And probably a lot of people were moving to Amsterdam because, yeah, you have better opportunities, and there's a lot, there's different types of work you can do, and there's other ways of living, basically, that were available to you. So maybe that's why it was so crowded, because people, well, oh yeah, sure, I want to go to the big city, I want to go to Amsterdam because I'm going to have, better opportunities or whatever. And maybe that's why it was so incredibly crowded. And the other is that maybe that's just me, but I think it was something peculiar that I even when I was with what I was seeing of the guy, that I didn't really understand what he was doing. He was sort of, I don't know, he had a pamphlet, maybe he didn't, but I thought he was sort of giving things to people. But again, I'm a little unclear. It was a little bit blurry, so I couldn't really see. But however it is, whatever the case, I think one of the things that actually I found, throughout the whole footage, because I think you can actually exemplify this in several of the clips, is people were a little bit more social in a way. I think maybe that's just my impression, but I think right now, even if you were to record a similar video right now in the same, in Amsterdam, in the same places, people, I think, interact less with each other. Obviously, if you are hanging with a group, or you're out with someone, of course you're going to interact with them, because obviously they're your friend, they're your family member, they're whatever. But again, it's sort of, yeah, because I'm with them, right? So I'm gonna communicate, I'm gonna interact with them. But I think back then, I think I could just see people sort of socializing between each other. Maybe it was because, maybe because, again, even the city probably was growing, but even then, probably it was a feeling of, everyone sort of knows each other, because even though it's growing, it's still quite insular, and there's still a feeling of, oh yeah, everyone sort of gets to know each other. So maybe if you go to the market, you're going to buy some tomatoes, or you're going to grab a beer, and then you see your neighbor or someone that of course you're going to stop by, and then, oh yeah, you're in the middle of the street and you're going to have a conversation. But I don't know why it wasn't giving me exactly that impression. It was more as people were just socializing with strangers. It maybe obviously with reason. I don't know what they were saying, but I just think that people were a little bit more social for some reason. Again, maybe that's just the impression that I got from the video, but just comparing this to, I think, something more modern, I think maybe if something, it's probably has been lost. Again, that's my theory. I think they probably used to socialize a little bit more back in those days. And right now, people are just very sort of, probably everyone's a little bit quieter, because no one speaks with strangers. You just have a quiet conversation with someone if you are with someone. Or again, people, obviously, because you're alone, even if you're alone, then people are just going to walk by, and they're not going to talk to strangers, and they're not going to socialize. And because everyone's on their phones right now, so either they have, you have earphones, or you're on your phone basically, and you're doing something. And of course, people don't want to interrupt. Although I think maybe it's, well, but what would you tell? What would you interact with a stranger? Maybe that's the Dutch culture right now. Why would I waste my time just going on small talk, or just speaking with a stranger? Who knows? But I think maybe back in the 1950s, I think probably things were a little bit different, and people were just a little bit more open probably to, again, to socializing and to just, again, just talking a little bit more, which I think, and again, maybe that's not just a Dutch thing in general. And in particular, I think maybe maybe in this day and age, people are a little bit less prone, I think, to socialize outside of their own little bubble. And probably that's just, again, maybe that's just society. And, I don't know, I'm not blaming anyone, but maybe it wasn't just a thing about, oh, in Amsterdam in the 1950s and Amsterdam, in this day and age. Probably it's something like, yeah, maybe you could do this in a lot of other cities and it would be the same. It would give you the same impression that people were just more active, and I don't know, people were just more actively socializing back in that time period than right now. And of course, my favorite part about this whole video was the the Heineken beer. It was this huge ad, which I think it's really funny. Obviously, right now, well, not specifically in Amsterdam because I do not know. I don't know. Do they have the sort of the digital screens with the ads? I do not know if Amsterdam is that kind of town, but let's assume for the sake of this. Oh, I could see an ad in that same spot. But right now, instead of being sort of the letters, with wire and whatever it was, the material that they did back in those days, now it would be this huge screen with the whole, with the ad, and it would be a whole ad and whatever. But it's funny that, oh my God, it's still there. So how old? Well, I would assume, of course, it's a beer, and as all beer brands are, I think, well, again, not always, but I think a lot of beer brands are sort of, and companies are super old, so maybe it shouldn't surprise me, but it's sort of, oh my God, I love it. Again, it's the sentiment, the beer remains the same basically, but the ads are, oh my God, you're starting to see ads. Actually, that's one of the things that I would be very interested to learn. It would be, what time specifically, sort of what time in history did ads started to appear in Amsterdam, because there was probably a time period in which, they didn't really put sort of those huge ads in buildings. That was probably a novelty, probably not by 1950s, maybe by that point it had been around for a few years, but I would dare to say maybe, I don't know, maybe around the 1910s. I don't know, maybe there was a time period in which older generations probably were, oh my God, what's happening? What is this? They're trying to sell me something? Yes, welcome to capitalism, welcome to the future. Everyone will be trying to sell you something. But yeah, we'll be very, very interested to learn how that worked back in those days. But yeah, I love the video, incredible. But that was it for today, and I'll see you next time. Bye.